There's basically two types of Griplock cable, and we have both of them sitting right here. And I wanted to point out the differences because it's important. Both of the Griplock cables come with stoppers on the end. This one has a ball stopper. This one has what we call a standard stopper. These stoppers are factory installed. It's not something you can do in the field. Now the cable itself can come in almost any length. We sell everything from 2 feet to 100 feet per cable. And the cable can be cut with our cable cutter, and we have a separate video on that. This ball stopper is currently used only for 2 of our connectors. And this connector here is a T-bar ceiling connector. And the ball actually goes through that hole, and this goes up onto the ceiling T-bar. And we have a whole video that shows you how to do it. The reason we don't use this one in there is that stopper is too big. And it's not gonna click onto the ceiling T-bar the way you want it to. It'll do it if you force it, and it'll scratch up your T-bar. But we actually recommend the ball stopper cable for this connector. The other connector we recommend the ball for is this is a slope ceiling connector, and they're not very big, and that's why we're doing it this way so you can actually see the scale. Now, the ceiling connectors are always 2 pieces, and it has a piece where you can put a screw through. And it doesn't matter what type of screw you're using because it depends on your installation. Maybe a special drywall setup screw or a butterfly screw or a bolt. It could be anything. So it's 2 parts. So what you do is you screw this part into the ceiling for the slope connector. Then you take your Griplock wire, the one with the ball on the end, and I'm going to undo it here real quick for you. I've taken the wire, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the wire through the hole in the connector. And this ball on the end of the wire, here, let me move my hand so you can see better. This ball is going to stop this wire from coming out, but it also allows it to go back and forth. And on a ceiling, you can see that if the ceiling is slanted, it will allow this wire to hang down straight. Then you take this, and this is already up on the ceiling, it's already screwed into something, and you screw the 2 parts together. So now you have this mounted up in the ceiling at an angle, and you have your Griplock wire coming out. And it won't come out. It's set up for a lot of strength, and you can hang your track lighting now from a slope ceiling. It's a great connector and a great setup, but make sure you do use the ball connector for this. It works better inside this connector. I'm not saying that the standard Griplock cable won't work. It's just this works much better. So those are the connectors and the wire, and we're going to move on to the next Griplock piece right now. This is our threaded ceiling coupler. It actually has threads here on the inside, and on the other side it has a little hole. And the way this works is we take our Griplock wire with the stopper on it. We feed it through this. This is a ceiling coupler. So the stopper stops it from coming out the hole. Pretty simple. Now, this thing's used in a couple of different ways. It can be used with our T-bar ceiling clip. So it would just screw on here. And we have a whole video on ceiling clips, so you can see how they work on a T-bar ceiling. So it can work here. It could thread onto maybe something you're doing. Say you're going into a truss work or something else, just to let you know that that has a threaded inside there to it. And it's also used with our junction box cover, which I brought here. And this is to cover junction boxes up on the ceiling. And I'm going to assemble all the pieces here so you can see them. And we sell these separately, and I'm sure you recognize this. This is the part that goes up against the junction box, and you're going to supply the screws to screw this into the junction box. And then it'll poke through here. The feed wire going into the junction box will go through this hole, and we have a grommet that does that. And then the ceiling coupler will actually screw right on here, up tight. So now we have the Griplock cable, we have the canopy cover, we have the bracket bar, and the little double threaded bolt here ready to go. So that goes up against the ceiling, and this is called a ceiling connector. It's very simple, and it has a Griplock cable in it that won't come out. This is really the heart and soul of the Griplock track lighting hanging system. The main part is really just 3 parts. It's the Griplock cable with the stopper, sold at all kinds of different lengths, and you can cut them in the field so you can get it right on. I'll show you kind of how this works in a second. This is our what we call our cable slider or cable glider. It has a little hole here in the side. I'm going to show you how this works in a minute. It has a screw that screws in one side. And this is a ceiling connector, and it's 2 pieces. And it has a little flange here. And the reason we buy these with the little flange on them is because if you're using a drywall screw that has the part that goes in the ceiling that opens up, it's pretty big and bulky, and the hole gets kind of ugly. So we gave you a little extra room here to cover up the hole in the ceiling if you have to make it a little extra big or drill a hole and it's sloppy. So we're trying to get a clean look, and these are very clean connectors, and they're very small. So I'm going to take a second and kind of build this up for you so you can see how it all goes together and try to imagine it on your ceiling. And if you look at our other videos and our number of drawings, you'll get a good idea of how all this works. We're doing it here just for scale. Now, the ceiling connector is going to have some kind of screw. We don't supply the screw or the fasteners. You're going to do that, but it's going to go through the ceiling connector and go up into the ceiling. This one we have set for like wood trusses, but you may have a machine bolt or a drywall screw or a whole bunch of different possibilities. So this goes into the ceiling and it's going to screw up there first. That'll be the first part of the hanging system. The second part of the hanging system is the Griplock cable, and I cut one here really short so we can see how all this goes together. Now this part is going to go right through here. This is the other part of the ceiling connector, and the stopper is going to go inside and stop. That way it can't come out. The stopper is factory installed. It's not something that's done in the field. They come this way. Now we're going to take this and screw this into the ceiling connector. Now if you can imagine, the ceiling connector, now it looks like one piece, is screwed into your ceiling, and it has a cable hanging out from underneath it. And it's going to stay pretty strong there. Now, the last part of the system is the glider itself. Let's take a look at this. I have a screw in the bottom. And the reason we do that is you got to be able to screw the track lighting to the bottom of this connector. So we recommend that you put your track lighting on first. So this would be sticking up from your track. And your track is pre-drilled, ready to accept these. And if the holes in your track don't match exactly where you want, you can simply put another hole in the track. It won't hurt it at all. Now, here's the magic part of the Griplock system. This is the glider. The wire coming down from the ceiling can't be adjusted at the ceiling. That's where the stopper is. But we're going to take this wire and we're going to put it right in this little plunger, right in there. We're going to push it in. You notice the plunger went down, and the wire is going to come out the side right there of the connector. Came out a little frayed, probably because my finger was in the way, but it's going to come out the side. Now, when we get the whole track lighting system set up, everything's hanging, it looks beautiful, we're going to take our cutter and we're going to cut this excess wire off. So I can take this and adjust it just by pushing it through. When I pull it the other way, it locks and will not let this slider move. Now, if you want to adjust the slider, this little plunger here, you push it down with your thumb, and you can actually take this wire and adjust it up and down. I know it's hard to see because we don't have the track hanging here, but I want you to know about the plunger. Now I'm going to take the Griplock cable back out. Okay, I can't. I have to push the plunger down. Once I push the plunger down, boom, wire comes all the way out. So this is the adjustment point, this little plunger here. This is the locking mechanism inside. There's some little tiny ball bearings that stop this wire from coming back out. So this is the slider, the Griplock wire, and a standard cable ceiling connector. And we have some other parts that are kind of interchangeable for this, depending on what kind of ceiling you have. And they're not only in our other videos, but they're in our drawings on our website. In our informational page, not only has all the drawings, but it has photographs of other people's installations, so you can get creative with their ideas and kind of learn from what they did. And our staff here is happy to help you with the layout and happy to make sure that you have all of your Griplock parts that you need for your job. We'll lay it out for you. We'll give you an itemized list and help you get through the process. It's really very easy once you understand all the parts. So if you're looking to buy the ceiling connector, just click here. The Griplock cable, just click here. And the slider, just click here.
At Total Lighting Supply, we understand the importance of your time. Not everyone can be a lighting expert. We're not just about selling you light bulbs, light fixtures, and light components. We're also about helping you achieve amazing and successful lighting results in your space. We hope that our video series will assist you in achieving your lighting goals.